Right now, somewhere in the world, a bridge is being demolished. Not because it was poorly designed, not because it flooded or shook, just because it got old. Modern concrete has a lifespan of 50 to 100 years. After that, it cracks, the steel inside rusts, water gets in, and eventually, it fails. We accept this. Concrete crumbles. That's just how it works. But here's the thing. The Romans didn't know that. The Pantheon has been standing for nearly 2,000 years. Roman harbor walls built directly into the ocean are still structurally sound after 20 centuries of saltwater battering them every single day. In 2023, a team from MIT finally cracked the answer, and what they found may force us to rethink how we build everything. To understand why Roman concrete is remarkable, you first need to understand why modern concrete fails. When we build today, we embed steel rods inside concrete, called rebar. For a few decades, the combination is almost miraculous, but steel is made mostly of iron, and iron, given enough moisture, will always rust. When the steel rusts, it expands, and when it expands inside concrete, the concrete cracks from the inside out. The very thing meant to make it stronger becomes the mechanism of its destruction. This isn't a niche problem. The United States alone faces over $1 trillion in deferred maintenance, bridges, highways, tunnels, all cracking on a ticking clock nobody wants to talk about. The irony is that we walk past structures falling apart faster than things built before the Roman Empire. The Colosseum still standing, harbor walls poured directly into the Mediterranean, still chemically stable. 2,000 years later. How? The Romans built with volcanic ash from near Naples, a material they called pozzolana. We've known this for centuries. What we didn't understand was what was happening inside it. Scattered throughout Roman concrete are small, bright white chunks, mineral fragments of lime. For generations, scientists looked at these and assumed they were a mistake, sloppy work. The Romans, it was thought, hadn't dissolved their lime properly before pouring. They were wrong. Those lime chunks were intentional. Here's what was actually happening. Instead of carefully pre-dissolving the lime, the slow, patient way, Roman builders added quicklime directly into the hot mix. This triggered a violent exothermic reaction. The mixture got extremely hot almost immediately, and that heat distributed the lime fragments throughout the concrete in a reactive, accessible form. Not fully dissolved, not fully solid, just waiting. For 2,000 years, nobody understood what those white chunks were doing there. We called them impurities. We called them mistakes. They weren't impurities. They were sleeper agents. When a crack forms, water seeps in. The moment water hits one of those lime clasts, calcium carbonate begins to crystallize inside the fracture. It grows. It fills the gap. Within weeks, the crack is sealed. The concrete heals itself. Not metaphorically, literally. The MIT team deliberately cracked Roman-inspired concrete, added water, and watched the fractures close over 30 days. Modern concrete, when it cracks, keeps cracking. Roman concrete, when it cracks, fights back. But the self-healing property isn't even the strangest part. For the harbor structures, built directly into the sea, something even more counterintuitive was happening. In marine environments, modern concrete degrades from day one. Saltwater attacks the steel. It breaks down the cement bonds. You're accepting slow, constant destruction from the moment you pour it. Roman marine concrete doesn't just resist seawater. It uses it. When seawater moves through Roman harbor concrete, two rare minerals form inside, aluminum tobermarite and philipsite, crystals that interlock and reinforce the material around them. The longer it sits in the sea, the more crystals grow. The more they grow, the stronger the concrete gets. Modern concrete is designed to resist its environment. Roman concrete was built to become part of it. So why did we stop? When the Roman Empire fell, this knowledge didn't vanish at once. It faded, hand by hand, generation by generation, as the trade networks and craft traditions that carried it collapsed. By the time the Industrial Revolution needed concrete at mass scale, the answer was Portland cement. Fast, cheap, reproducible anywhere in the world without Italian volcanic ash. Portland cement didn't win because it was better. It won because it was scalable. We traded longevity for speed. The Romans didn't have chemistry labs. They didn't know what tobermarite was. They had no instruments, no equations, no published research. They just noticed that certain things worked, that structures near the coast lasted longer, that mixing the ash a certain way produced something different. They built, they observed, they refined. And they left us harbors still standing 2,000 years later, not because they understood the science, but because they trusted what they could see with their own hands. We have the electron microscopes. We have the peer-reviewed papers. We have every tool they didn't. And we are only now, in the 21st century, catching up to something a builder in ancient Rome knew by touch. What else did they figure out that we've forgotten? Next video, we're going inside the human brain. Specifically, why you can't remember a single moment from the first 3 years of your life. Until then.